Talk Show. Recorded live.
Hello. What? Is anybody on? Hello?
Yo.
Who's this?
Jared?
Yeah.
What's up? It's,
Who's this?
Person Lights.
Mike.
No, you know me either.
Oh,
like,
Person Lights. Yeah. What's up?
Yeah.
I spoke to your friend the other day, which is, he goes, fuck apathy. I guess he knows you.
I don't know who he is. Yeah, he's always, I'm getting emails from him and stuff. I don't really know too much about him. Not emails and stuff. I've seen that name before somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, where do you live at now? You live in, you still live on the island, right?
Yeah, I'm in Northport now.
Oh, Northport. We gotta, get up, man. We gotta...
Yeah.
But are you still busy with that job?
Well, I'm always busy with, because just...
How many hours a week you work?
It's like I have a steady 40-hour, but then there's side shit like Jewish people always want private cooks and shit. Ends up being a Jewish thing. It's funny, they love the pigs in a blanket. It always cracks me up. I had to do a party for the Fortunoffs one time, the Elena Fortunoffs.
Yeah.
And at this temple, and sometimes you go to church and you'll see all the names of the people that donate to the church or whatever.
Uh-huh.
In this temple, all you saw was Fortunoff and Wallbaum from the Wallbaum stores or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they own Wallbaum's. That Wallbaum chain store. Or whatever. That's a you saying that's a Hebrew thing?
Franchise. I just thought it was funny that it was just those two names, Fortunoffs and Wallbaum, the only contributors. I wonder if they were the only people that attended,
Yeah.
That was.
What's else going on with you, man?
Just been, I don't know, I should be doing more. I know what you're saying,
I mean, what did I say? I didn't say anything.
I don't really do,
Yeah.
I don't really do anything, really,
Hey,
but
I try to do what I can, I try to put I'm trying to put my heart into this stuff. I'm serious about it because it really hit home with me, all the stuff, the seriousness.
I mean, it's been years.
Where it's going.
The whole thing with, I did have some questions. I always got kind of lost. Sometimes, I was always able to keep up with everything intellectually.
Mm-hmm.
But then, a lot of times with the Keely stuff, I'll just, fall back. I know you mentioned, Tain a lot. What exactly do you mean, T-A-I-N, so to speak? You always have things Tain.
Tain is phonetically the same as saint, anti, Nazi. It's all, you'll see that saint and Nazi, all these things are phonetically the same. And when you see them say saints, they're talking about the Nazis or whatever. That's their philosophy. And Tain is the back of is what Freemasonry is. It's the back of the mirror. That part they paint on the back is the Tain, because that's what they do. They're the mirror of nature, but they mirror it, but they aim at their direction where they want it to go. So
you say paint, is that as a play on the word tain as well, I guess?
Yeah, Tain. Yeah, it's the paint on the back of it, or the stain. Stains, in other words. Anti. They have the anti-party or whatever. I forgot the name of it. The anti-everything, I forgot. But,
yeah. But, you're still trying to move out, I guess, right?
Move out. Yeah, I'm I really, if you can't cross the border, if you really should be in, Ogdensburg.
I heard you mention the Ogdensburg.
Yeah, because that's right, on the tip of the Canadian Shield, and that place is gonna rise. What happened?
Is it at the top of New York, or it's
Yeah, it's at the top, right at the St. Lawrence River.
Yeah.
That's gonna rise that area.
Yeah, Keely always mentions that river a lot when he talks about stages of the flooding.
Sure. Yeah. You can actually on the I heard you mention that like you haven't heard talks, but there's like a whole bunch of newer ones on that same channel, like for like the past.
Yeah. I think I had because there's a link to talks that I get through the emails, which I think are these talks, and I think the one on your blog is to the other one, right?
Yeah, I have both of them on my blog.
When I click on TalkShoe on the blog, it takes me to the one separate from the Saturday one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there's two of them. I should put them right next to each other, but one's at the top, and then you go a little bit down. The other one, which is this one.
I think I have most of them, if not all of them.
Yeah. So
last time I called, there was someone talking about Alan Watt, and I was like, that's the last thing I wanted to talk about, you know.
Yeah, it's just that guy. He
sounded like the Visigoth host. That show, Visigoth.
Yeah.
He reminds me of like the host on that show.
Yeah, he's listening to Alan Watt, and I guess he doesn't realize him, but he's just like listening to propaganda, and like that's why his view is like that, because he's just been propagandized and shit. And so he's gonna he has a certain view of me. You relate to this guy.
Yeah, and he was trying to bring up stuff like, and I see your name's Jerry.
Like he's exposing me. Like I've been open about that for years, for the longest time. You know, I'll be the first to tell you about that. And then he like Googles my address and puts it on the thing, and like, this is where you live, and I'm like, wow, man, this guy really like. I don't know what he is.
Like,
and those Google things, I obviously wasn't accurate, because he said I lived in a mansion, and I don't live in a mansion.
Nah.
I live in a regular house.
That area's got some nice places, but I don't know. I had to stop at a 7-Eleven once in Brookhaven. That's some of the people I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Some of the weirdest white people I've ever met in Long Island are like on that side of the island.
No, my part? The where I live?
Yeah. Like a Brookhaven, like Maggotaur, and it's like, I don't know. I see like the strangest like white trash over there.
Over here is different from like the Nassau area. Over here, they're more like
there's more space.
Boonies. They're more in the boonies. They're in the boonies. They're not like, it's not a fast pace, you know. But
there was one time I went out to Orient.
It is. Don't sleep out here. It's just more like, for me personally, I can't find anything to do. Like, all the stuff that's to do is like near Nassau, like Queens, at least, you know.
Yeah.
You know, Nodos knows. He knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I live in both areas.
Whoa.
Is my phone making noises on your side?
No, that wasn't my phone.
Oh, okay.
You got like guess. Who's guess for? Yeah, that's guess for.
Another.
Hello?
Yeah, I get that.
Whoa, that was guess for, man. That was definitely
So,
for.
it's funny that other caller. We had mentioned, like the last time I called, we had mentioned something like, he said, like, why would they be so mean and, wipe out the human race? And I think someone mentioned that they were going to replace us, like the number 10, whatever, hermaphrodite.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, that sounds like my pinball game. But if Alan Watt talks about the new man, it's like, it doesn't sound like a pinball game,
Yeah, I haven't listened to anything he said in a long. It's like, from what I know, it's just like same old.
Yeah.
Same old shit.
You hit the pause button,
Yeah. I wanted to hear the Christmas to see if it was a blurb, just to see if it was anything. It was just a fucking guitar this time, it's just like
a gift to the world.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of the 13 better than trying to wake up lots and lots of people.
And it's not even like this 13. It's like we're aiming for more than that.
Yeah.
That's just like I guess kind of symbolic or whatever.
Yeah, or at least a guide to go by. You know. Always like not too big, not too small.
Yeah.
Because I mean, who knows? I mean, like what to do? Like, I mean, even if you avoid the flood, how are you going to avoid, you know, the Blackwater sweep coming through with guns? Like, you know, whoever survives, you know. So like.
Somebody else say something? I think I heard somebody say something. Oh, never mind.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Who's that Celtic rebel that they're talking about?
Who?
The Celtic rebel?
Celtic rebel. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, they said, and I better spread the word about the word Alan Watt, and then they say Newham, according to the Celtic rebel.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The echo, though.
I think I get your phone fixed, man.
Try calling in again.
You call in.
There's like some interference with the phone. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad, sorry.
No. Feedback.
Yeah, what were we saying? I'm sorry, I got lost. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Who's all on right now?
Hello? Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Everybody else is calling.
I guess he hung up. I don't know why he hung up. Oh, he probably thought we were talking about him when he said to hang up. So yeah, man, you got anything to say what we were talking about earlier today with Glenn on the phone? I thought that was an interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
it was kind of like it's like nobody had anything to say. Again, seemed like.
well, he was doing his thing for the first like half hour or so.
Yeah.
And kind of started asking questions towards the end, but
yeah,
it's that same spiel about his wife for now. You know, all that crap that they're going through.
But I think guess 4 is back on. Like, what were you saying again?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Well, who's this Celtic rebel?
Celtic rebel. What do you mean?
Well, I hear some this guy's typing in about this Celtic rebel. I
don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I'll see if I could. I'm not on the chat, so I can't see.
Celtic rebel. I don't see.
You don't know who he is?
I don't. The new man according to the Celtic, and then I better spread the word of what? Spread the word. New man is new ham according to the Celtic rebel. I guess he's referring to Alan Watt, but I think Alan Watt's Scottish, so I don't think he'd be Celtic. I think he'd be.
I don't know these people.
Gaelic or something like that.
All right, sorry to interrupt. My mic's fixed, so thank you.
Say again?
He said it was Christmas. Anything else you want to ask?
Hello?
I guess
You were talking about you were talking about something about saints being canonized or something like that. I don't know.
What I said was saints are the same. The name saint is phonetically the same as Nazi. They just switched the letters around. N-A-T-S-I. And it's the same as taint as they all actually tell a story. They all go together. They're all actually part of one big story. Because Tane is what they are. They are the Tane in the back of the mirror. They mirror nature and redirect it, towards their own benefit. And their philosophy is Nazi, fascist, and they're anti, and the revolutions and stuff. And they're saints, all the priests and stuff. That's all.
Yeah. Kids that were Southern kidnapping them kids off the streets and then drinking their blood, and then they were turned into saints. So they're What
Who do that? Who's drinking blood and turning into saints?
Who were drinking the kids' blood, kidnapping kids off the street in Italy,
Mm-hmm.
and drinking their blood in a toffee. And then they were later turned into saints.
Yeah. Same game, basically.
Yeah.
Drinking blood would be symbolic too.
Yeah, that's in Mithraism. When they drink the blood, it's like symbolic of regeneration. And it's symbolic of a lot of things, a lot of
DNA.
Yeah, it's because when they sacrifice the bull and the dog is the dog priest they're talking about. And when it's lapping, it's using that DNA for regeneration because they're genetic engineers. So it's a lot of symbolism when you see them doing it. What happened?
Nothing goes to waste.
Yeah, so they're very ritualistic in everything that they do. They'll do some crazy, outlandish things just to fulfill some type of allegory in a ritual. Their mindset is very ritual.
Yeah. It's just a play they're acting out.
Yeah.
This is this scene and this part of the play and this act,
Mm-hmm.
So they're just following orders themselves too. So
yeah.
Something I heard the other day about like for instance, celebrities, like they don't have access to their own bank accounts, right? So they can't just go to a bank and take out like $30 million, because they're like if they take out any bit of money, they have to go and get it approved from like the elite basically, or whoever's in charge of their financing, and get permission to release that money.
Clerks.
But yeah, they're clerks. So that way they don't run out, and they have to, if they buy anything, they have to have receipts for everything. So it's like they can track, so it's not like, you're saving up money to get out of the system, so you can't just run away and no one can find you, that kind of thing. So they're not really allowed to just spend their money like that. So they're given like those black cards with like that unlimited amount on it, and things like that, because it's easy. It's not cash. It's trackable. And also, how they get back at them because they can't spend this money is like they'll buy those, $35 million estates, mansions, whatever, because that's something that no one really needs that, but it's something they'll buy just because it's like they can. If they foreclose on it, they still get it back anyway, so they don't care. The people control the money, but that's what that.
I always said that the agents of all those celebrities, I think they're the ones to really watch because they're the movers and shakers behind all of it.
They're the middlemen.
Yeah, they're the ones. An agent is interesting because in contract law, agent is like, it's like, say somebody calls your house and asks, can I speak to, Jared? I could say I'm the agent of Jared. They're like your intervener. They represent that vessel.
Right.
Or they're not representing that vessel. They're kind of, I guess in a way they represent. Yeah.
As a way to talk to them, you mean? So you have like.
Yeah, it's like when you go to court and you don't say I'm Jared, I'm here as Jared. You say I'm here today as Jared, intervener, third party, here to help the defendant settle all claims and whatever.
All right, yeah. Because that's all, the artificial persons thing. And
yeah, it's like you're talking in third person in a way.
Alright. Hello. Yeah.
Hello. Who's this?
Alright. This is Maggot. Yeah, I was like typing in the chat room earlier. Yeah. Yeah, I just thought I'd explain. Like, it was like the things he seemed to, I don't know, guess form. I'm guessing was a bit confused. I was saying like, new man is new ham. Well, I meant Hugh Man is new ham, but it's the same thing. New man's like the Gary Newman, the Soviet, and all that. But the I think he was possibly not understanding what I was meaning by quoting from that. It's basically the new ham, you know, it's the new man. It's Francis Bacon. He had the project for the new man. So it's basically saying you're the second sort of generation of Bacon's products, sort of thing. You know, like the Atlantis is a great experiment. And so, yeah, and it's an anagram of human as well. So he possibly didn't realise that the whole English language was written from that period. And so, you know, there's like a joke in every word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that new ham, that's a good anagram, because ham is pigs, and we're the pigs.
That's it. You get bacon for pigs. Yeah, you get bacon for pigs. And that's why you get like the Jewish thing about the, well, they won't touch pigs, but they they got goys as well, which is basically swine, you know, goy.
I noticed, Jewish and Muslim, they won't touch pigs. And it makes you question, like, why won't they eat pigs? And when you learn that pigs actually regenerate the brain cells. Yeah. So, I mean, it's like something to keep them stupid, Yeah.
It's even in the Bible. It's like when the I am a legion thing, you know, when he talks to that guy and he says, I am a legion, you know, all the animals he's going to cast it into a herd of swine. You jump off the cliff.
and these little things, like when you look at people's religion, like, because you have Roman, in Italy, with Roman Catholics, and they all eat pork, like, and that's like a way of life is pork, everything. It's like people are giving opposing views on things, opposing, you know, cultures and habits on purpose, so they won't integrate or you know. And then when you look at like Jewish, it's interesting when you learn about it, like and like Kabbalah and stuff. That's where Nazism came from. It actually came. It's the same thing when you look at. I was watching the thing on TV. The guy was saying,
new man principles. Actually, it's quite funny.
It's the same thing. It's all the same thing. It's just different words that they're using, different terminology.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I was told this funny thing about Star Trek The Next Generation. I mean, I'm all about things being a massive decoy and a cover, but apparently, or I might have thought it up myself, who knows. The whole point of Star Trek Next Generation is the Data, you know, the robot?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the next generation. He's the next generation of man. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
that was the whole point.
When you look at it, I've been watching all those series. I've been watching Star Trek Enterprise, and the new slave is actually, it's going to be more like, there's a character called T'Pol, and she's a Vulcan, and the personality I think of this slave is going to be more like a Vulcan, like a reason type of a reason base. It's not going to have any like no need for like emotion, I guess. Not emotion, but like no need. No personality, no distinct personality, because they're all going to be like connected to like this hive computer, and they're going to be like one mind type of thing. It's going to be some no personality, no individuality.
Sort of like you could imagine, like in medieval times, though, with the people living like all the serfs, whatever, living under the Lord. Sort of like a revitalization of that.
Yeah, a new update.
It'll be task specific.
Well, yeah, whatever, really. It's like, it's also funny because like Vietnam as well. You know, is like a Nam is shortened to Nam, which is like an anagram of man again.
when you got because it's Vi E.T. Nam. Vi is like Viking, 6 king. So you got 6 end times man, or you can flip the 6 and make it a 9. 9.
I think Vi means between as well. It's Vi spelled VIE. So you could say like with the aid of extraterrestrials, you get new men.
Well, Vi for something is in French. It's VIE. It's life, live for something. There's different, like, you can always, there's, like, different, like, words and meanings. Converted to, like, French and stuff. But, I found links to, like, Anglo-Saxon a lot of times. A lot of links in that language and Welsh, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They have a lot of...
Vi to contend. I just looked it up now. Yeah, it means contend. Like you vie for attention or you vie for favors or for I don't know.
And
whoever.
V or Vi, it's in French. It's life. It means life.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But in Vietnam, I might give a clue to like what was going on in Vietnam during the Vietnam War. What was really going on.
Yeah, and also the letter T is a cross.
Mm-hmm.
T is always a cross. So you can interpret that as like Christ and also plus, as in like one thing joined to another.
Mm-hmm. Transmission. Like a telephone pole transmits.
Yeah, in that Star Trek series, they show that their lives are run by this computer. Like the computer runs everything. They ask the computer it feeds them, it clothes them. It's showing you like the system in like an allegory. So like they all give allegiance to this computer. Computers, what's this? Computer, what's that? All these different characters are giving you like an aspect. It's not. They don't embody. They don't seem to embody like everything in one character. They all give you like a certain aspect of it. Like Data is more like the super slave who's just all about his work.
And the whole gist of it is basically, you've had your time to be individuals, and it does go back to Francis Bacon, which is like this. Well, some people find it scary, but I find it as a lot of diversions of some quite simple things. Like you've had your time for being individual, your freedom in inverted commas, and now it's all back to the mother or the mother brain or however you want to interpret it. It's back into the hierarchy or the hive, because that's where you belong. You've tried it and it failed. It's sort of like if you've got children and you let them have free reign or whatever, they can go away, leave the house, find their own jobs or whatever.
It's more like you served your purpose. Now we're gonna have the new 2.0 version of you. Right?
That's it. Yeah.
Well,
they've already got the historical record and like the racial memory as well of people trying things out. It's like, oh, look what a mess we made of the planet, all by ourselves. Just because we didn't have somebody to hold our hands all the way through.
Yeah. So that Star Trek is also it's a good propaganda. It's good UN propaganda. Star Trek. It's them going out and out of space. It's exactly what they want to do. And little new one. They give little clues. I noticed that earlier. They give little clues like it's all moral instruction, and moral is. You can say, moral changes in every period of time. So, like, it's like what Albert Pike said, because he said morality is a force which could be economized and redirected. But basically, it's like morality is like a clay that they form. That's how they manipulate it by right or wrong, the polarity.
It's them setting down the law onto you. Mm-hmm. It's like sort of like man's law as opposed to God's law. Basically. Mm-hmm. I know. What's moral one year is not moral the next. I mean, in the Blitz and Second World War, it wouldn't be immoral to like raid the ruins of a burnt out house, would it? To
but like something, like something that's immoral today, or morally, or what's good and what's bad. It could totally change, the next generation.
Well, in plays and on theatre, you define the morals like during the play or the theatre. So you watch one play and it's got one set of morals, and then you watch another and it's got another set. And in movies as well. And like Americans, American culture on the movies have their set of morals, but you might watch something else like a Polish movie and it's got a different set of morals altogether. You know, they're not really so obsessed by certain things and they are fixated on other things, which just seems really odd when you watch it without any sort of like background to it.
Psychological programming. Eddie Bernays.
Yeah.
Got everybody.
Jean-Luc Picard, the guy. Was that? I think that was just his name on the show, Jean-Luc Picard. And that's interesting how he came out with it. Like he was a Basque or something like. But in real life, that guy, he got knighted. He's like a knight. I've seen him in an older movie, King Arthur. It's actually Excalibur. That's a really good movie. That's like an allegorical movie.
He was in Excalibur. Yeah, I saw that like once when I was a child, but everybody who was around me was like, "You got to be like so on drugs to get this movie." So
it was a good movie. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
a lot of good stuff in there. But yeah, this guy like knows. I think more than like a lot of actors, because he's not like. I mean, he got knighted and stuff, so he's.
Yeah.
I think he knows a little something. He may not know much, but he like I could tell he like went to their universities and probably trained in their universities like Oxford or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. He's a Shakespearean actor. He recently did I suppose you call it a movie, I suppose, of Macbeth, and it was updated. And it's all part of the agenda and pointing towards certain things. But he's like in this one, he's a Russian. And so he was like the Soviet, you know, he was like Soviet, basically new man again, same thing. And also one of the things that I like to mention is V is actually 21 because you've got the 2 points on top and then you got 1 point underneath in sort of like basic geometry. So that, you know, there's so much correlation between V and 21. I mean, you've got the V series, the proper one, and then you've got the cover-up series, or the cover-up movie, which is V for Vendetta, that's one of the main reasons I don't trust Alan Moore. There's a few other reasons, but that's one of the main ones. So he put up this bogus movie, and it was total tosh, really. It's if you watch it, literally, it's like. Okay, so it's a conspiracy against homosexuals, so if you're a homosexual, you won't get on TV. It's not even true, it's not even remotely true, even in England. You've got several actors who've, actually, Stephen Fry is one of them, who've made their careers out of pretending to be gay, you know, and it's just so basically false. I was disgusted to watch it. But I read the book anyway. But I just couldn't stand it with the whole Guy Fawkes thing. It's the Guy Fawkes allegory is the man in the mask, and it's sort of the return of the king again. And you get that so much. Yeah.
Man. I watched the Man in the Iron Mask and the Three Musketeers. They have a saying, all for one and one for all. That says a lot about them. I mean, that whole movie was. I thought it was kind of interesting.
That's 5-2, right? 4-1, all 4-1.
Yeah.
who got knighted in Excalibur? Who was the?
I forgot the name. He's the guy who's Jean-Luc Picard in Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart.
About a different Excalibur. I'm talking about the one from 1981. Okay.
That's maybe I remember.
Excalibur was like from 81, I think, Yeah,
it's all really big acting. Really big acting for an English film because most of the time they're quite refined, but this one's like... It's like, wow.
I
think they were trying to define what royalty was about, though. Like, with that sort of, like, big, exaggerated thing, because they're all supposed to be people that, like, larger than life. You know, the blood of Cain and all that sort of thing. So I think that's what they were trying to capture. It did look a bit over the top, though. I mean, you see a section, you're just like, wow. You're only swinging a sword at the guy, you know. It's something you do, like, every day. Well, perhaps watching it literally, right?
That word, royal, by the way, I learned, like, it's actually, like, it's a play. When you look at the letters, it's a play on the word Troy. When you look up royalty, they kind of were like Trojan horses for like marriage. They kind of were trying to get people to accept that because they were like the models. Like they never personally followed that, but they gave that example to the public.
Yeah, there is a sort of undercurrent that goes around. I mean, Gary Bell on A View from Space hinted at it, but it's like one of those sort of things. It's like the royal family's imposters, the current royal family, and there's like a whole load of imposters, and they're basically trying to get off this like Sangreal bloodline, whatever, which is the hidden bloodline, and they're presenting themselves as true royalty. But the other thing with word royal, it also sounds like real.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Rael, that guy, the baldy guy with the little ponytail. He was in, they took the mickey out of him in the movie Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, where he was called Doofus. Yeah, that was him. Oh, yeah, and that's also a hint at it as well, yeah. There's also like an allegorical sort of hint about like some sort of hidden bloodline going on between the Keanu Reeves character and whoever it was, Wild Stallion, and there's loads of weird stuff in Hollywood. There's loads of like hinting at things like Poseidon and horses and they had the English princesses anyway, so that should at least point you to England. And then they had they picked up the weirdest characters throughout history, and they're all basically characters that enforce a certain agenda. You had like Napoleon with a hidden hand, because he never actually lost his hand in a battle with a bear or whatever, which is a reference to King Arthur actually. But never mind. Arcturus, the bear.
When they put their hand inside their coat pocket and hide their hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually referring to like when you go back to Egypt, they would show like the king and the queen or whatever, or the pharaoh and the male and the female. The male would be in red, and the woman would be in white. And the man would have his hand inside, and the woman her hand would be outside. And it basically meant like he was the keeper of the mystery, the secrets of the mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a hidden hand. Yeah, it's a hidden hand, and some people think it's a hidden government as well. But it's also possibly the hidden bloodline as well. But that's why the original chess sets were in white and red. They didn't actually have black for ages, because if you know about dyeing, you've got to like take loads and loads of dye in order to get black. So red dye is actually the cheapest dye you can get, and you can get white just by bleaching.
Yeah, and the chess came out of India. Chess game, the Indian game.
Oh really? Yeah. I thought it was either going to be that or China.
Yeah, China. I don't think China came out of it. There's a lot of interesting games. It's interesting. There's a game where they spin the top. That's like a little Masonic game. They spin the little tops. They showed the clue. They showed that in the movie Inception, like these little thing that they spin on the tip. That's like I forgot what type of.
Yeah. Oh right. Okay. I'm gonna go for 5 minutes. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
You have it?
What about that Inception was laced with that spinning top that was some kind of game that was I don't know, I guess it's a Yiddish game or something, I don't know.
The spinning of the top.
Yeah, well in Inception with the guy from the gangs in New York,
Caprio.
Yeah, he had that. There was a spinning top that they used in the game. It was some kind of, I don't know, it's some kind of Masonic symbolism. You go out to Hollywood, and that's all they got. Is lodges, in L.A. It's just lodges forever, You get down there in the trenches, they'll tell you the whole deal. Same thing you guys are talking about. It's all there's always some agenda pushed in That's where I heard about Alex Jones on the streets of L.A. Some Hollywood extra come up tell me about that. Said, you ever heard of Alex Jones, man? And I said, nope, I've never heard of him. You gotta hear him, man. Yeah. He told me all about the lodges, how many lodges there are. You know, everybody down there, you'll find the Masonic lodge, the pins and lapel, the belt buckles. You know, everybody's basically in a lodge. So there's a lot of, you know, I mean, you always got a hidden agenda. Even if you look at the last scene in Fight Club, you know, where all the buildings come down. So I mean, it's, you know, but there's always some kind of Masonic agenda.
That movie Fight Club, like a guy who made that movie, he actually wrote another movie called Choke. You heard of it, Choke?
No.
Nope.
That's a really good movie. It's like in a comedic fashion, but it's like a lot of like philosophical truths that they put in that movie. I thought it was a pretty good movie. What happened?
Well,
yeah, it's called Choke by the same guy who made Fight Club. Fight Club was pretty good, you know. They put a lot of truth in there, you know, but a lot of people seem to.
Like in video games and all the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis video games, all you're gonna find is like a Freemason eye and pyramids and all kinds of, you know, Masonic symbolism in their stuff. You know.
Yeah, that's what they do on their property. Like they own everything that's there.
All their
like a dog peeing on a tree that says it's a tree. They tag everything. It's like a game. They have to tag.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, it's like Super Mario. You've got the plumber who bashes bricks. You know, like bricks are all over the place in that game. I haven't quite figured out what the plumbing reference is. I think that has to do with like the underground or the underworld.
Which one?
In Super Mario, because he's in any of them, because he's a plumber, and you always go through pipes and tunnels. I suppose that's like wormholes and all sorts.
Yeah, and you're dealing with all these underground creatures in the underworld. And
yeah.
He fights the dinosaur.
And you're on mushrooms, you know.
That dinosaur represents royalty. Yeah. It's even got the scepter or something. And the rock with the jewel in it. Yeah.
It teaches young kids too to want to accumulate money and stuff at an early age, you know, with the coins and stuff.
Yeah, with the really catchy sound effects. That's how you collect the coin. Because there's actually at least one show, radio show, where they actually use the sound effect of Mario jumping, hitting a coin or whatever, like ding-a-ding. They'll use that as like a highlight for the show, you know. They'll be talking boring stuff about drugs. I think it was on Airport Radio, I think. Rupert, the outfit. I used to call him Rupert there. But one of the sound effects he had on the soundboard, right, have the sound of like the coin being collected. And so he obviously slips into subconsciousness that like it's a metaphor for having a good time. It's like ding 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 ding. Or gold, gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and Super Mario's diet is really strange as well. It's like a hermit or a druid. You know, you just got flowers and mushrooms.
Well, I know that there was the Japanese developer for the game said he had a plumber named Mario.
Yeah, I heard that story.
Yeah, but
yeah, that's coincidental with Shigeru Miyamoto having the same name, Miyamoto moustaches. You know, like the samurai with big swords. Yeah, it's one of those things that this is what makes them do, though. Isn't they got most of the background noise. They have loads of cover stories for everything.
Yeah, there's definitely
Wait,
some audio perception or audio reception programming going on, as well as sound effects and stuff like that. Yeah.
But it's like they won't make a move unless they've got a story to cover for everything they go to. It's like it's supposed to like laying out the red carpet or whatever. They've got to have this thing planned in advance. They'll never say anything out of line. Shigeru Miyamoto, and they never actually show the games like while they're being written. They'll just like sort of like give the public this like demo or whatever, and it just like basically could have come out of space. The amount of that the public actually hear that just like turn up on the in a press conference, with a finished product.
Yeah, a lot of different hidden symbolism in both audio and visual.
Hello? Yeah.
Alright.
So, like, what solutions are like you guys trying to like find to all this stuff?
What was that?
What are your solutions to what's going on?
Oh, you knew how far the rabbit hole goes, buddy. I'll tell you.
Yeah. See how far it goes?
Oh, man.
Maybe the world's shaped like a donut.
Do what?
Maybe the Earth's shaped like a donut.
A donut? I can't hear.
Yeah. It's got loads of. Oh.
You're breaking up.
Yeah. Both you guys' phone, I really can't hear too well. Oh.
I can hear it right now. It all went quiet.
Yeah, I hear you now. The other guy I really can't hear too well.
Yeah. It was like some demon, apprentice demon in the background. Somebody like started snoring on the line. Maybe the world's more like shaped like a donut. They could be possibly hinting at that with like Simpsons, Homer Simpson. And if you heard of this guy called Marco Rodin, or whatever, I accused him of being long by his, which is a long story, but never mind. You got the noise background now. But it's supposed to be a gap at the North and South Poles, aren't there? Leading to the Hollow Earth.
Yeah, what's the solution to everything? Like,
well, I don't know, 50, but I'm gonna go because this Brit's getting on my nerves, man.
This what? Hello?
Somebody's playing something.
I don't know what's up with that.
Well, it's not me.
Are you guys gonna be on the phone? I want to call back in because.
Okay.
I'll call back in if I'll leave the channel, but I'm gonna call back in like 15 minutes. Alright.
Yeah. I might be gone then, but yeah, if I'm still here.
Alright.
Bye. It's still on or what?
You cannot run the Holy Spirit. You can't do it alcoholic. You can't do it violent. The Holy Ghost will follow you to hell and back to bring you to Jesus Christ. He'll follow you to the sins of the powers of darkness to bring you back to Jesus. I pointed the finger and said, Jesus Christ has set you free from alcohol.
Hello? I guess I dismissed you guys. Hello? Hello? Anybody there? Okay. Alright, I guess I'll talk about what I titled the show. Actually, I have to find the link to what I found. I found something that was interesting. I found something interesting. It was called imagining the 10th dimension, and it goes into to explain different dimensions, and it goes from from the first to the 10th dimension, and I thought it was some insightful things that they said. I could go on and on.
What are you talking about?
That 10th dimension,
oh yeah.
I could read it here, but I think you can watch the video or just read the text. I'll post it in that chat box.
That's an interesting video, though. I checked that out the other day.
Some
parts a little hard to follow at some point, but yeah, use your imagination, I guess. When you're trying to perceive that kind of thing. But.
Yeah, I was seeing I definitely see how the system copies a lot of different aspects. Because as soon as they explain it as the first dimension was just or 0 dimensions was just an idea.
Mm-hmm.
The big idea, and then you got first dimension, which is a line, which is a point, and then the second or first dimension is a line. I think
connect each other with a 2-dimensional object kind of thing.
And then you fold it. When you fold it, 3 dimensions. So that's like folding it upwards, and that's basically like, now I know what they mean in masonry when they say, coming to the fold. You're basically coming into like a higher dimension. They say a higher plane of reality. And plus the fold is a sheet pen too.
Fold can also be a right angle.
Yeah. So that point within the circle is saying a lot. Then it's telling you, because the point is the 0 is like the idea, the thing. So this is the big idea with that point. It's like the beginning of everything. So that's what it's saying when you see that symbol of the point within the circle or bow or whatever.
Yeah, symbol.
So who else is there? The person Lights?
Yo, what's up? I'm back.
Yeah, what happened to you, man? You just like hung up.
Oh, I thought you said my phone was making noise.
No, it wasn't you. It was the other guy. And then you just hung
so
up.
you're not, everything's good. You're not hearing any interference right now?
Yeah, you weren't having it in the first place.
Minimal. I hear it. But yeah, well, it was probably the other guy's phone.
Yeah. So yeah, so I was just talking about like dimensions and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also like the time it takes, like when they're talking about the 4th dimension, it's that time in between the 2 points. It's also, because it's not like I'm trying to picture in that video he was saying like the 3-dimensional object in the 4th dimension is the time of that change between that 2 points of those 2 dimensions, the next dimension, or something like that. Right?
Interesting. So yeah, they were saying, and like what they were saying about fifth, I thought was interesting. Yeah, he says the 4th dimension is the first 3 dimensions can be described with these words: length, width, and depth. Where did he go? He said duration. But the 5th dimension, he said it was the split. Because the 5th dimension is most intriguing aspects of there being one dimension stacked on another. So that down here in the dimensions below, we can be unaware of our motion in the dimensions above. Here's a simple example. If we take a Mobius strip and draw a line down the length of it, our line will eventually be on both sides of the paper.
Oh, yeah.
Before it meets back with itself. It appears somewhat amazingly that the strip has only one side, so it must be a representation of a 2-dimensional object. And this means that a 2-dimensional flatlander traveling down the line we just drew would end up back where they started, without ever feeling like they had left the 2nd dimension. In reality, they would be looping and twisting in the 3rd dimension, even though to them it felt like they were traveling in a straight line. That's like walking and straight down the line. It's like walking, around the planet, Yeah. And then you get the 4th dimension. Time feels like a straight line to us, moving from past to the future. But that straight line in the 4th dimension is like the Mobius strip, actually twisting and turning in the dimension above. So the long, undulating snake that is us at any particular moment would feel like it is moving in a straight line in time. The fourth dimension. But there will actually be in the fifth dimension a multitude of paths that could branch to at any given moment. Those branches will be influenced by our own choice, chance, and the actions of others. That right there was really what hit me when he goes, it's like a whole multitude of paths.
Yeah.
It says quantum physics tells us that the subatomic particles that make up our world are collapsed from waves of probability simply by the act of observation. In the picture we are drawing for ourselves here, we can now start to see how each of us are collapsing the intermediate waves of probable futures contained in the fifth dimension into the fourth dimensional line that we are experiencing as time. I'm a little out of it tonight, man. Okay.
It's kind of like with all those, talking about all those chances. It's almost like being at a train terminal. You can just get on that next train and go. It's up to you which one you decide to get on and where it'll take you and what adventure you'll have from it. Or you can do nothing and sit and watch them all go by.
Yeah. So the chance to me is basically like it's that element in nature that we don't have. It's kind of like
what you didn't think of.
Yeah. It's like that kind of creation kind of always sneaks in.
Yeah.
We call it chance because we don't have no control over it. So by calling it chance, we kind of belittle it.
Yeah.
And the system, it hates chance. It's terrified of not being able to kind of figure out what's going to happen. That terrifies it.
That just confirms that whoever's in or whatever's in control is a control freak.
Yeah.
Control freaks don't like chance.
Yeah, like that's in that movie Alphaville. This guy was just terrified of life, just like it's scared it, like it's just gonna handle it.
I think that's why a lot of people like science, mathematics,
security. They love sovereignty and security. That's sovereignty and security to the max right there. Yeah.
People love being able to.
That's the women. What?
People love to be able to prove things over and over again, like scientists do. Keep it, repeat it in the laboratory is what they always say. But that kind of goes against nature.
Yeah.
It might be winter, but you'll never have the same winter twice.
Mm-hmm. You can pretty much, by studying it, that's how science is, it's just observation. You can pretty much ascertain a lot of things, but there's always going to be a new element, a new chance, something new added to the whole cocktail, the whole picture, and it changes it.
Yeah, that's how you learn. So everything was just concrete. They would have figured it out a long time ago, and there'd be nothing else to learn. So it always has to be that new element to learn.
Uh-huh.
So maybe it's just introduced whenever you can see it when you're ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
When you think you know it all, that's when something else comes up, and
And then the Kabbalah, the guy, I have to post that up. The guy mentioned that it goes over 10 dimensions. I think it's 11 dimensions. And he said that.
Oh, the rabbi you're talking about?
Yeah, he said that the fifth was actually the will. It's the will, and that's kind of interesting when you think about how thought and everything. So all that stuff gave me a better understanding of it. I guess reality. Yeah,
I think that's the only way they could really travel through time, through great distances like in outer space, different universes. Because you can't just go in that straight propelled line, rocket fuel line, that would take 1 million years or hundreds of thousands of years just to get to the next place. Where if you you bend that piece of paper so the 2 points touch in that dimension, and then you shoot right, you go right through to cover all that distance. So yeah, I think that's what's linked to sounds and whatnot.
The sound seems to be linked to chance. know.
Yeah, we're pretty much set up to be. We use sound, we manipulated by sound. You know, every sentence.
Everything seems to be synthesized.
Yeah.
Well, I think Glenn say Earth is the ear, right?
What happened?
Earth is the ear.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
What about it?
Exactly.
So, what about it being?
Oh no, I figured it went along with what you were saying about sound being important.
Oh
yeah.
Did he have any breakthroughs in his hair growing project?
Who, him?
Yeah, or it's just growing it to grow it, really.
Yeah, he had a lot of breakthroughs. That experiment, he basically proved to himself that it helps with the tapping into the big picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How long did you let it grow for? Like a year?
Who, me?
Him? Like,
I did that. I've been growing it for like 2 years now. Maybe over 2 years.
Yeah.
That's got to be pretty. That's got to be a lot of hair.
Yeah, it is.
It is, but it isn't. You know, I mean, mine is just down to.
It's a lot of hair to civilized people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's still growing, so it still wants to go somewhere. It's still trying to reach a good length. You know.
Yeah.
You know, just like you were saying, or you brought up that Earth has ear in it. You know, so hair has air in it.
Yeah.
So it travels through the air. That message, that information, you know, pick it up with your hair.
Yeah, it goes with what he was saying, like all the
different
spectrums, like infrared, all these different spectrums of communication.
Yeah.
That they use, pretty amazing stuff. And we were saying they probably synthesized some form of communication through water from like what the dolphins do and stuff, and whales. And that kind of that's interesting because that's in the movie Riddick. They give that clue in Riddick, because in Riddick, the Chronicles of Riddick, the necromancer, when they're on the spaceship, people communicate through water. Like the craziest thing, because they're talking in these water things. And like the vibrations somehow carry what they're saying. So like it's like a pond or a fountain, and they talk into it or something. And
well, if you think about all water, it's connected. You know, the water that comes out of your faucet is connected to a bigger, aqueduct or reservoir somewhere else. It's all the same water.
It's when you break it down, it's just molecules, particles,
and
all these particles are all around us. Yeah, it helps make the air. So like maybe it's like some type of it's like a bandwidth or something. It's like some type of
yeah. Well, you already know like that they mimic sonar. If you've ever seen boats or even fishing boats, and they see what's going on underneath. If there's even fish around, they bounce the sonar waves. Boats do that. So if they release that technology just for the common people.
Look what they use for like agents and shit, spies and shit, like people in war, soldiers. Like they have like sonar-based technology where they can see through walls, see through at night with these goggles that they have. They can see through walls.
Yeah, like they do that in Eraser. They have like some kind of gun that does that.
Oh yeah, she a skeleton and stuff. Well, they even do that with the sonar when they're checking out what your baby looks like and the mother. They have these like 3D imaging now. It's not just that crappy sonogram. It's not just that crappy black and white picture anymore. You can actually see features of the baby now in a 3D image.
Yeah.
So yeah, sound. It's all.
It's like the same concept with that program, that application on your phone where you take 3D pictures of a whole room. So maybe they use that with sound. I don't want to say that. To know, bad use it.
It's based off something bouncing off an object. So our visual spectrum is based off light bouncing off objects, and our eyes pick that up. Ears, same way.
Well, we use our ears too. If we were to use them more, we'd see how they work. Like our vision.
Well, what your ears are doing, they're listening for disturbances. You're listening for something that doesn't fit, and that's what you're picking up on. What was that snap? That someone stepped on a branch, like you peek to that, you turn to that. So it kind of widens your field of vision without your eyes. It's like the eyes on the side of your head or right behind you, or different kind of, it's good. It's a good tool. Couple that with your hair, tuning that in, and you get different types of perception. More on like a mental note, like telepathic note, where you could sense if someone's near you or thinking about you or whatever. Or
or it's going to kill you.
What was that?
Or it's going to kill you.
Yeah, I mean, you could read that stuff quickly sometimes, given the right situation, circumstances.
Yeah.
You're perceiving something, like someone's intent sometimes, even if you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
the gray matter in the spine, that's somehow connected to the senses, right?
What makes you what?
Connected to the senses. Yeah, it's connected to you. I mean,
I never really heard that there was gray matter in the spine until Kelly talked about it.
It's like the thought of the universe. The gray matter in the spine is the thought of it's like a hologram. It's like, how like you can see something, like you see a piece of a picture, it's telling you everything, telling you everything.
But it's more, it's almost recessive now. So I mean, or you're not taught to how to listen for it. It comes as a voice or picture. So.
And I think probably like food you eat probably does something to it too. Like they're able to like scientifically put something in food to make part of the spine not work as well.
Yeah, I mean they did the medulla, so after that,
yeah,
not even, or they modified the medulla. That was interesting, like how Glenn was saying that he's more like learning and reason, and Jenny's more like intuitive, and that's basically the spine and the brain, how it used to be all within one person.
Yeah.
Now you find those traits within different people. Some people are more intuitive than others. Some people are more reason-based than others. So. But you need the other person to kind of bounce those ideas off to get that kind of the wisdom from them. I guess you could have done it with yourself previously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it seems like with Clan Mother in the end, though. Like, a Clan Mother, it suggests that she's like older than Neanderthal, because that was like the symbolism is telling that he's the brain and she's the spine. And you know how the brain and heart, like the brain comes, the spine comes first. It's the past.
Yeah.
And then the brain comes.
And the spine itself, it just looks weird.
So what?
The spine itself, it just looks weird. Like it looks like a snake or a staircase or some sort of chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that spine, it looks like some type of reptile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, everybody's tired tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to like 2 hours of sleep, man. I'm so shocked.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I actually want to get off.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm sorry, man. Like most, any other time I'd be like awake, but I'm like, I am so shocked, man. I'm so shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll get off. You guys can keep on talking. I'll leave this thing on. I think I'm gonna go and just like pass out.
You can be snoring on the phone.
Yeah, man. Like I just heard my talking and I was like falling asleep talking, man. It's crazy. That's weird, man. I felt like I was going like I'm drunk or something. I don't know.
All right, man. You need to get some rest.
Yeah, I'll talk to you guys, man. I guess carry on.
All right, later.
All right.
Yo, who's on?
I'm here.
Yeah.
So you're in Long Island?
What's up?
Where you at? You live in Long Island?
Yeah. I used to live in Freeport, but now I live in Suffolk.
Okay, yeah, I live in Rockville Center.
Oh, okay, cool. You been to the forum?
Yeah.
That's fun. It was like easy, like you had no problem getting there. You just like stayed there, I guess.
Going in, I didn't have any issues.
Yeah.
The guy asked me a couple questions, but it wasn't anything serious.
Yeah.
And then on the way back, the guy was a little bit more of a hard ass. He wanted to search my trunk and stuff like that.
But how? And he would have known where you went?
Oh, he didn't know. He didn't know where I went at all. I didn't mention. I knew not to mention.
Okay, just like regular custom.
Yeah, I drove through there, so
yeah.
you know, they just ask you for your passport and whatnot, and then where you going, how long you staying, and I guess the idea is, or what I did was just try to make it seem like I'm going to be in and out, like not really, because they don't want you saying, oh, I'm going to be there for 6-7 months, like you're going to be living there, and
Yeah.
If you just say it's a weekend trip, they're pretty much like, all right, just. So.
Yeah.
It was crazy. On the way back, when I left his farm, it just started this huge lightning storm, right? I mean, I was looking at like lightning was literally striking maybe like 300 feet away from me, like in my car.
Wow. Yeah.
With the downpours were like, I was like in a hurricane. And it just came out of nowhere. As soon as I got in my car, it was just like, boom, boom. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they don't want, the gods are angry.
Yeah. Yeah, like he would just like I guess he would just talk to you, like he would like, or he would have like a class or something.
With Glenn,
or you just like hanging out.
Well, there's other people there when I was there, a few other people. But yeah, he spent time with me. Like I got there at night. The first time maybe like 11, like 12 o'clock at night, 10, 12 o'clock, whatever. So I just introduced and said a few words, and he went to sleep, and then the next day he walked me around the farm, gave me a tour, and that's part of the whole thing. Like he walks you around and shows you why that place is significant, all the different landmarks. And
on his property?
On his property, yeah, all throughout there. There's stuff all over the place. Like it's like, wow, okay.
Yeah, he says it's gonna like raise like 70 feet or something like that, right?
Yeah, well, it's on the shield below. The Canadian shield will rise when all the water.
Well, I mean that could happen really slowly too, right? Might not,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if it's a violent, I guess it kind of depends on how it happens,
Yeah.
If it's 1,000-foot waves coming in, covering 1,000 miles on each coast, I mean, it might happen a little sooner. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope it's not just a violent breaking up and shooting up. That wouldn't be nice, but.
It's like, but like, say you survive it. Like, I mean, what then?
Yeah, I mean, you'll be back to basics because a lot of, or most, if not all, the technology will be cut off except what was already up, on that capture area.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty much that, that scatter moves. Like everyone's going to be frantic and what the hell just happened?
Yeah. I've emailed him a few times, and like I accidentally pissed him off. I didn't really care, but like I definitely pissed him off because like it was like the Last Supper, and I understand what he means about Jesus and Mary being connected, but I just didn't really see it. It just still looks to me like they're sitting together. But I don't disagree with what he means about it, though. But he was just really mad. He was like, if you can't see that, I don't see why I should bother with any time with you, But
it's all about how you come at them, or with anybody.
Yeah.
You come out like you're really asking and you really want to know, and break it down with you. But if you're just, you got to remember who he is. Like a lot of people just kind of just like to waste his time, So
yeah.
He's like, are you one of those people, or are you someone that's really truly seeking? He's like, I got to figure it out right now. Like, what do you want from me? Like, what do you want? You stop me, like I'm walking down the street, and you stop me, you talk to me. What do you have to say to me?
Yeah.
Is it worth my time to stop and talk to you, or should I just keep moving?
Yeah. That's kind of how it was. Kind of like when I called him, it was just like I didn't really know what to say to him. I was just like, "Hey, I'm friends with Jared," I didn't really feel like the phone broke up.
Yeah. I mean,
but it's funny that because I work at an assisted living facility. I cook at an assisted living facility, and he's it's funny. He talks about his wife, her nursing position, and I know he's right about that. There's a lack of those jobs in Canada, and they're hard to get even here. Directors of nursing, directors of assisted living facilities.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely not a lack of nurses in Long Island or New York. It's just that the lack.
Oh, but the directors for the higher ups, even qualified people, they usually last only a year or so. They don't last. It's hard to get one that'll last longer than a few years.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
yeah. So where do you work at?
it's called an assisted living facility. It's called Atria, ATRIA.
That's out there.
It's sad. It's all these people from like World War II era.
Yeah.
They're just dying there. It's like they're not really treated well there at all. We don't have very good food to give them for sure. It's almost like high school lunch pretty much style.
Yeah, I used to work. I was a dietary aide at one of those when I was in high school, and they literally like peanut butter and jelly sandwich and from an ice cream scooper like put on the puree. It's totally gross stuff. Yeah.
I always have just shitty jobs because that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
And it's like so you end up work. I mean, it's really bad. They're just dying off, but whatever.
Those used to be the elders,
Yeah, they're not that smart. I mean, they definitely program from this. Well, if anything, they learn war is bad. They can get that far when I talk to them. Even a lot of them are vets too. A lot of vets for sure.
Yeah. It usually takes someone that's actually been through a war to really get that message,
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys. So you're still listening to the Glenn's talks, or you still keep it current? I think you're still listening. You still speak to Glenn, or are you just listening to the talks?
I've just been listening to the talks. Really, I wouldn't really know what to ask him, because I listen to it a lot, really. To be honest with you, but I don't really keep it I haven't emailed him probably since 2009 or so.
Oh, you can't email him anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his emails are blocked. So
yeah.
Even I think when he's sending them out, they don't even go to anybody anymore.
I was able to get through him on the phone once. I think it's probably this time last year, and I didn't really know what to say. I feel like I think I can help, but I don't really know, what to do.
Yeah, I mean, some people can help financially, other people can help by different access that they have. Either access to people or access to information or ways to getting in contact with people. So I guess it depends on what kind of way you could. What are you thinking that you can?
I don't know.
Just want to.
I mean, when you start talking about what to do to stop, you're talking about good things, practical things, and you can't get much further with that without taking out your lightsaber or something. Talking about stopping I guess the flood or the destruction of humans or what have you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you can even work on, if you have people, your own critical mass too. If everyone has their own,
I always critical mass. I don't even know. I think the fewer the better. I don't know why. I mean, I just think the mass, because you need a lot, and then the process of getting a lot just has so many traps in it itself. And I would just.
I mean, your own 13 people or 12 people. Working on your critical mass of people is what I mean. So you might, you might only have 2 people, but that's 2 people that might have some ideas that no one would have thought of. So just like you may have some ideas that no one would have thought of, but you gotta, pretty much it comes down to now is the time.
Yeah.
If you don't at least start now, even trying to talk to them or what have you. Or just getting, some type of organization together for,
Yeah.
Then when? Yeah.
Because, definitely, what else is there to do,
Yeah.
Besides, because it's funny, I'm so programmed, I can know all this stuff, but still be so programmed at the same time, still just, work to pay bills and stuff,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that, it's
too much of a risk to dive headfirst. Like Glenn would say, I'm one of the bots. Definitely I would be.
Well, I would just put it to you like this: you start small. Start with doing a little something, if not every day, every week. Towards that kind of goal. Maybe it's not renewing certain contracts that tie you down to a couple of years, or leases, keeping something open, or that will tie you down to a certain area. I mean, but in reality, and if worst comes to worst, just pick pick a time when you're just not around this area for a couple of weeks, and then if nothing happens, then nothing happens. But
yeah, I know.
At the very least,
I'm a good swimmer, but I don't think I'll make it up there.
Well, there's always Ogdensburg too. So.
I know. Yeah. But like, supposedly, if I hear correctly, like even if you could physically swim the distance, like the water it would just be so thick and sludgy, it wouldn't even be, swimmable.
Well, around Ogdensburg, you should be okay. It's on the shield, but surrounding area, with stuff, but at least it's better than. A lot better than a watery grave. But I mean, there's no guarantees anything will be okay. But
no, I know. Yeah. But it definitely feels like definitely something soon. Sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Because when I first heard of Glenn, I really thought it was going to happen any minute. And then, you kind of go through a period where you're not so worried about it, and now it's like back at a time where it's just like, and then things are on the news, and just like the way it's kind of getting steadied, and it's going to happen, and people are going to wait for help because they're so used to waiting for help now, even though if the help's bad. There's not like any help coming,
Yeah.
They're like, it's got to be some kind of relief. There'll be like commercials for people to donate money to us, That's not going to happen.
I mean, like, it depends if they do like the phase where they empty the Great Lakes first, for instance. Then, I mean, it might not be. I mean, the water could come down here, but it might not be the phase where it's the tsunami coming from the east. You know what I mean? Like coming from out there towards it. It might come right after that, but if they block all of that, like that's just water. Now you can't get through to Canada. You can't get through like to that area because that water basically stops you now. So, and then while you're stuck there, the other one comes.
I was actually looking at real estate in Ogdensburg, and it looked pretty cheap. Cheaper than Long Island, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, most places are, so. Yeah, the cheapest house is like $400,000 here.
Even, just to get a regular, like, semi, you got to, like, do some work on it, it'll be like that much. And the taxes will be almost $10,000 probably.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it goes. It's funny, like, that movie, was it Dinner with Arthur? See that movie?
I don't think so.
And he says, like, it's funny how people say they wish they could get out of New York. They never do. And he's like, I always wondered, he's like, maybe that's like the new concentration camp, like some sort of mental concentration camp.
Yeah, it is, yeah. It's the furthest away from reality, We're everywhere, even, towards the city or even Long Island, it's so developed that no matter where you look, you're looking at some type of man-made structure. So you can't really connect, and most of the trees have been torn down and replanted, so you have like these weird sporadic trees everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's still not even like natural feeling, even though there's trees there.
How was the night sky at Glenn's farm? You could see a lot from the sky?
Yeah.
It was like out here.
I mean, anywhere on Long Island sucks. New York sucks.
Orient Point is pretty cool. I was shocked at what I saw out there. I didn't even think the sky could look like that.
Where is this?
Orient Point. It's really far out. It's on the end of the North Fork.
Oh, Orient Point, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you can see the Milky Way, then you're in a nice spot, Whereas it's that band of white that just goes down the sky. If you can't see that, then you're missing a lot. So.
Still, yeah.
Like where I'm at, there's buildings that block most of the view. So I mean, you get like these little bits of sky and like 3-4 stars. It's just pathetic. So.
Rockville Center, you said?
Yeah.
Lakeview used to be a part of Rockville Center, and then like the Chamber of Commerce complained they didn't want to be a part of the Lakeview neighborhood, so they sectioned it off and gave it its own name, its own zip code. They used to be like part of Rockville Center back in the day.
Yeah, we're a incorporated village.
Yeah, Freeport's incorporated too.
Yeah, anywhere with their own police, anywhere they have their own police.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Rockville Center does have its own police.
Yeah. So.
You don't have a Long Island accent. I wouldn't have known you were from Long Island.
You don't have a Long Island accent?
I said you don't have one. I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have said you were from Long Island.
I never really had certain words, I guess, but regionally, my training broke me out of that. So.
Yeah.
Try to get the message across without any, the least amount of confusion.
So what happened to Jared? Doesn't have that His Truth website anymore?
Oh, that's the Ning
Ning.
Well, Ning decided to charge money every month to run the forum.
Okay.
So, yeah. But I mean, forums anyway. The whole situation there, it's just like kind of a waste, you know.
Yeah.
It's under the guise of helping people, and we're here to inform and share information, but it really just turns into like
like hoarding information.
Yeah, or people just trying to sway people into their point of view.
Yeah, it started out kind of cool, and then I guess it did start to get pretty weird at the end.
Yeah, well, a lot of it is just you can misinterpret someone's words, like the way they write something to you. But if you say you're on the phone, it's like, okay, I get what you mean, you know. But you're just reading it, you're like, what is this guy trying to say? You know, it turns into a fight, and people get all added.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anywhere we have to leave comments, and they're very descriptive, and most people aren't.
Yeah.
So.
But it had some good stuff, like the auditory stuff I would download. Yeah, auditory learning stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, auditory. It goes back to the oral tradition that people used to follow, right? So
yeah,
go around the campfire and share your stories.
Yeah.
That way you can have more of that imaginative perspective. You know, you start imagining what's going on in your head, kind of like reading a book. You know, but
yeah. You read those Keeley papers? I never really got those.
Yeah, I read them.
How many does he have? It's like 100 or so? Or?
No. I mean, how many are there? There's like 25, 30, something like that. Maybe 25 or something. I don't know.
And these are from like 95 or something? It's like a long time ago? Like 90?
I think it was more.
He correlates it to the time that Mel Gibson movie came out, because he was writing newspapers in his movie. I think that was like 90s or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the first date might have been like 97, 98 on the paper.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. So does he have people living on his farm that don't even like have any interest in what he does, or seemingly don't have any interest in what he does?
Does he have people living on the farm?
Like
that don't have interest?
Doesn't he have like boarders? Doesn't he have like people just paying rent or something?
No. I mean, he might rent the room for money, but I don't know. It's not like that. The only person that lives with him is this older guy.
Oh, okay.
But he was there since the beginning. This guy.
Oh, okay.
He's more of Glenn's, like, what's the word? Like, he cooks for him and he does like the shopping.
Yeah.
He's not really involved. I don't know if he was in the beginning, but like even when I was there, like he just kind of, he does his own thing.
Yeah.
But he's not like taking part in the conversations or anything like that.
Yeah.
But he allows Glenn to do the studying and work on the farm, so he's not going out and food shopping and cooking. Like, that takes a part of the day away when you have to do those kind of things. So he does the outside chores and deals with the people and all that type of stuff. But
so, what's your take on his wife's interview on Ice thing a long time ago? 'Cause I remember seeing that and thinking like, geez, this is pretty. What is this stuff? And like, do you think it's like true, but it's not that as important as it sounds, or she's just like not just telling Ike what he wanted to hear, or just not even worth going into?
You're trying to say, what do I think about her interviews with David Icke?
Yeah, because they were, seemingly they were pretty intense.
Oh, if like those actual events happened to her?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know her. I don't know how much of that is true, that things that have happened to her and whatnot. But I know she was definitely being manipulated at the time, and I'm not sure exactly how she got involved. I don't know her to comment on that, but
yeah.
She's, but everyone kind of goes through certain things, and it takes certain things to shake people up and see how things really are. So
yeah,
I wouldn't say she's like that today. I don't think.
No, yeah.
So everyone has their own past. I wouldn't be so hard on her. It's kind of like
I sort of when I first heard it, I was a little surprised for sure, just because I remember those interviews and just being so freaked out at the time.
Yeah.
So that was very early on, because I started out as like I didn't mind Ike. I didn't think he was so bad because it was one of forget how it started. I think I saw a 9/11 movie. Like when those 9/11 movies first started coming out, like 05, 04, and so I just stumbled across these guys and. So I heard that interview, and I remember it really bugging me out, because it just sounds like she's, unless you want to give her an Oscar or something, it really sounds like she was telling the truth.
Yeah, and she has that deep look in her eyes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was so well trained, you know, he speaks so well. Like, he says the word research, like, it's a great word, and, like, he just says it, like, he says it cute, like he's playing a note on an instrument, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, all those guys, I mean, you have to always consider that whenever they're really well-spoken in front of large groups of people, you know, you always got to take into consideration they've had some type of training. You know? 'Cause that's not something most people can just do, just walk up, like some guy that's just been studying in his basement for 10 years just to come up and talk to, you know, 300 people or recording DVD, like, unless you're really extroverted.
Emmanuel Velikovsky kind of fits that image a little bit. He kind of seems like someone who just hung out in his basement and came out one or two times.
Usually the people who are like that, they're kind of behind the scenes more. But the people who are really out there in public, kind of, they like being in public. They like having their eyes.
Oh, he definitely loves it. Ike loves being in public. He fucking eats that shit up.
Yeah. All those guys. I mean, that's why you have, you know, shows where people do all that stuff. You know, radio personalities. They like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's their voice. They have a nice voice. Carries well over speakers. So for a certain, you know, you keep a certain kind of voice for a certain kind of message for people. You know, you have that aggravated message. You have Alex Jones. You know.
Yeah.
That get everyone feeling on edge just because his voice is like on edge all the time. So it's like playing an instrument, you know, or you have certain instruments or certain sounds that you play that make you feel a certain way. You know, you have those think about Halloween time or scary movies, like those really like synthesized, long, screechy sounds, like woozy, like the aliens. You know, the aliens are coming because you hear this same noise, or so that same thing. It plays a part in you, like, you know, we were talking about sound before. It contributes to how your mind works, and it creates a certain reality. Because in the wild, the noises are pretty much, you know, they're natural. It's wind, it's the water, it's the animals, it's the insects. It's pretty much your basic sounds that you hear. Trees falling, so you're perceptive that way. But when you have even music or long drawn out speeches, like, it's doing something to you because that's not a natural way to hear something, you know, per se. So, that organization of sounds.
It's hair in your ears too.
What is that?
You also have hair in your ears too.
Hair in your ear, yeah. Yeah, I think on each part of your body it plays a different role. You know, it's a different kind of.
You think there's really something to that, like you know, when you turn 40 in that ballpark area?
When you turn 40?
Like what happens?
40? Oh, I mean, with the hair, like I'm growing my hair, so I noticed a difference with things. It's like it's not. I mean, I guess the longer it gets, the more I pay attention to it, the more I work it. It's like, kind of like a muscle. You know, you have to keep working it and developing it, and notice that that's what you're using when it comes about. That's probably the most. But I've always kind of had those instances throughout my life, so I wasn't. Now I just know how to focus it more, and it makes perfect sense to me with the hair, you know. So.
Yeah, it does. I remember when I first heard it, I thought it was a little strange. When you really think about it, and all the restrictions on, and how hard it is to grow your hair and live in society, it's actually pretty hard to, like, not shave and grow your hair.
Yeah.
Like, I would show up somewhere and it just would, you know, there's a lot of eyebrows for sure.
Yeah, they say you look unkept or you look homeless.
I say it's not impossible to just grow your hair and not shave, you know. But it is hard to a certain point. When you get to a certain point, it's hard to do what you normally were doing before. But I guess it's the whole point anyway.
Yeah, exactly. They make it so uncomfortable, I guess. Or people say you look homeless or unkept.
Yeah. And you do, but you know, but it's not it's like, but just to that perception in that matrix and, like, you know, in that program, you know.
Right. Well, that's how they made it seem. Like, only homeless people. They always show them with, like, the salt and pepper colored hair, you know, half gray hair all long, and the guy is unshaved because he's so poor and homeless. So you can't even get a clean shave, you know.
At the assisted living place, they give all the women short haircuts, for sure. Usually, there's one lady, I only know of one that has hair past her, her neck, really. Everyone gets, like, short, like boy-type haircuts for the women, definitely.
Yeah. I'd say most older women have that kind of hair. Once they reach a certain age, like that retiring age, and they all go short. I guess they say it's easier to maintain instead of having to. And a lot of it, they're gray, so it's a lot harder to dye all that hair if they're going to dye it, but they're still dyeing their hair at, that older age. So they always have that little afro-looking hair, right? Like,
yeah. But is Jared's hair braided? It looks braided on his Facebook picture. That could be an old picture.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it is right now. I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks, but he says he even notices the difference.
Glenn says something about the turban braided and stuff. I was surprised to see his hair braided in that picture, being what Glenn has said about it. But I guess it's really not that big a deal.
Well, he said he did notice. He has said he's noticed the difference when his hair is braided and when it's out. Kind of how he feels.
Yeah. He could have just done it to see what would the effects, for sure.
But the difference, like
if you had to go to court, you can't go to. Sometimes you can't, go to court looking like that. You're probably better off braiding your hair,
Yeah.
just for that day.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, like what Jared and I have discussed several times is also like it's not necessarily. Because when Glenn is talking about how the hair has to be, touching the spine and whatnot, that's coming from someone who has straight hair. But someone who has curly or that kind of basically afro-style hair, you can't grow it.
Yeah, it doesn't grow out. Yeah.
It naturally doesn't. Once you stand up, it's lighter hair. So, like my hair is mixed. It's curly. So it's dry. It wants to go up. If it's wet, it'll hang down, but it's not like. I could probably pull it 5-6 inches longer than it really is. Like it curls up 5 or 6 inches more than.
Oh.
But it's pretty. I keep it in a ponytail most of the time. But
didn't he suggest that type of hair was engineered into blacks because their hair would have known more or something along those lines?
Yeah, well, and how it doesn't make sense where you would want more hair covering your body in a place where there's more sun because it would protect you.
Oh.
In a place where you're not, in Siberia, you'd want your hair, hair to keep you warm there too, to tell you the truth. But in a place where the sun is beating directly on you, the more hair you have, it would kind of protect your skin instead of being no hair anywhere and you're just kind of cooking out there. But maybe it plays a different role, like it gathers up a different kind of information, or since they're older, blacks are older, the DNA runs a little deeper, so they have that information that you would need your long hair to get. It's already there for them,
Okay, yeah.
Or for us, I should say. So it's already kind of there, but it's maybe a different way. Like you have a satellite picking up TV and an antenna picking up a radio. It's like it's getting two different kinds of information. They're both doing the same thing, but just a different frequency or a different type of information it's gathering. Yeah. Maybe you have access to the spine a little. It's easier to get. Like I know that I have, like my intuitive moments are fairly frequent, and my hair might be more of, because it's not touching my spine, right? So it might be more of like a sense of what's like going on in other people's mind or the situation that I'm in. Like it's kind of like an instant information. It's not always just old information that you're getting, like should I make this decision and I need to wait and think. It's kind of like this might happen in the future, so do this. Change your direction right now, kind of thing. That's kind of what I'm noticing from it. Like it's like an ear for me,
Yeah, antenna, yeah.
Right. Like having dog senses or spidey sense. Yeah, like spidey sense, pretty much. That's what I would relate it to.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking before. When I could tell if someone wants to kill you, I was thinking of like spidey senses.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I've been tested. Like I guess I don't know what to call it, creation testing me several times. Like I remember, like one instance that I used to always drive is one way to work, and for some reason I just started having myself make a right at this right before this little mini overpass. So make a right, right by Malloy College, if you know where that's at on Hempstead Avenue.
Yeah, Hempstead Avenue. Yeah.
So I would make the right before going into Hempstead. Coming when Malloy's on your left,
Yeah.
Somebody just kept saying, make it right here, make it right here. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll just make it right. And I did it for about like 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm like, why do I make the right here? Like, it's pretty much the same distance. And then as I'm slowing down to make the right, like I'm physically putting the brakes on, and this car just shoots right in front of me and goes right across the grass into the Malloy grass. Like, they shot across. Hempstead. She didn't stop. There's no stop.
Yeah, a lot of students do that on that road right there to that entrance. They do that. That happens a lot.
Yeah. So
they were trying to go into the school.
It was right after that entrance. It was right before you go over that overpass over the Southern State.
Yeah, it's like a hill in that direction.
Right.
Yeah.
So she flew right over there, and like as I'm stopping her, like she would have went right in. She would have nailed me. Like I would have been done. So I was like, oh wow, like just listening to myself, little things like that. And that was 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks in advance. Like I was doing that. Like I just started, and I was me listening, and I was purposely listening to myself because I knew about intuition at the time, and to listen to myself. So like little things like that. Like it's just little clues. You know, how do you explain it? Maybe you explain it because time isn't linear. So you can have that perception because it's not just a straight line of things happening. You know, maybe that's the fourth dimension that works.
Well, like he has like he makes a difference between creator and creation.
Yeah.
He would say that the creator is would what most people would consider God, and creation what most people would consider evolution, or not really.
Well, yeah, I guess that process that you would call evolution. But that process is also the fourth dimension. It's time in between point A and point B. You know what that species took in between that time, or whatever, adapting to this circumstances. The creation would be all of that. You know, it's everything.
Like evolution and more, I guess.
It's what's created the universe and all of that that's out there. You know. What's out there in space, like that's what, you know.
And like the creator, is that what he means by the computers?
The creator is Neanderthal.
Okay, but like the two computers controlled Neanderthal, right?
Well, the Neanderthal invented the two computers, so.
So it is. So it's more like HAL than I thought.
It is HAL. They're the inventors of HAL, just because they had so much genius. They wanted to put it for future generations and whatnot, so they would just store it all in these computers. And then they evolved, you know, the computers evolved. That's a chemical computer. Well, you know, people are chemical computers too, so.
So wouldn't it be like it's like an organism as well, type, right? Or no, like a biochemical, or I guess, computer? I guess it's nothing I could really imagine in my head, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm
and
not
it's hard.
sure
How could it be two separate ones? Like is one? How were they different? You know, wouldn't it be just one separated into two parts? Or
it can be like two halves of a brain. You know.
Yeah.
One is focused on crunching the numbers. The other one is focused on implementing, and that's pretty much what the 13 would do as well. That's why half of them would be coming up with plans and ideas, and the other half would be how to implement those ideas.
Yeah,
that's one of the purposes of having everyone meet in that area is to do that. You need all those people together so you can actually do that. You know, that's the kind of things you discuss when you're on the farm. You know, like that kind of thing. But how you can really be useful.
Yeah. I guess it would be hard to get 13. I think I heard him. He can't even find 2 most of the time. Right?
Well, he doesn't. He just pretty much he's just there, and he can't. He's not choosing who's who. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Because you could be with it one day, and you decide not to do it anymore. So.
Yeah.
Now they're -1. So. It's pretty much. So it's up to each person, and the people that have been there for a long time. Some of them, you know, it all comes down to what are you doing in crunch time, you know, at the end, like, you know, you had 10 years to worry about it and you were with it, but what are you doing when there's like maybe 2 months or something, or any day, like what are you doing then?
Yeah, I've kind of just had like a run like hell plan. Isn't really too good.
You know, one precaution to take is if you're planning on, you know, if you have someone, if your girlfriend, children, or whatever, or a wife, to make sure you guys have passports, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, well, I've been having one for years.
Yeah. Well, just make sure that everyone's got all your stuff is in order. Like, you don't want to be in the system. You still got to go through them somehow.
Yeah, you still have to, you have to like overstand the system.
Yeah. They are the toll gators. So just like they hijack reality, they hijack everything. They're just that toll gator sitting there deciding whether or not to let you pass, and if so, how much you have to pay.
Yeah. So like, what does he do to like understand like past lives? Is it just something that just comes just being disconnected from the Matrix over time?
I mean, again, like, I'm not him, right? I'm not, what he does is you have to ask. That's like a question you could ask him. What I could say, what I do, and being in, what I would recommend for people is if you can be in a natural environment for an extended period of time, when you're not looking at the man-made structures. If you are in a rural area or a limited amount of man-made structures, you're not. When you're in that environment where all you see is nature, the tree, the rolling hills, and the nice sky, and all or whatnot. When you're in that area or a place like that, and that's all you're seeing visually, that's your communication that's your connection with creation. Right? That's all that there was in the beginning. Right? That's the root. You would speak to creation before you had words, and it was through imagery. And what was the first imagery you saw? It was the landscape, the natural things. So if you want to reconnect with your past, try that, because that's what originally you saw. But if you're trying to reconnect with your past and you're in the future with skyscrapers and Mercedes-Benz driving around, like, it's sending a mixed signal. Like, yeah, it's harder. It's loud, and you're in a room that's 4 walls. Like, you're just like, you're just like in a pressure cooker. So that's being in an area like that over a period of time. You use your senses more because you have to. You're outside more. You don't have to worry about. You're not always. I mean, granted, you'll have your own house still, or whatever, a place to live, but you're not. It's not. You're not so taken care of. You're taking care of yourself. You're out there with the animals. You're out there, hands-on in nature. So your senses are kind of kicked up a little as you're back in that environment. Where here you just lock your door and forget about it. An alarm on my car. Like your senses don't have to be awakened that much. So all of that helps. It contributes. And spend that quiet time with yourself and listen. That listening is pretty much, that's what you have. That's all you actually have. And don't cast off weird occurrences or weird visions that you see, or why am I thinking about this? Why am I thinking about this time period in history or whatever so much? Maybe go visit that time period and see if something wakes up in your memory. You already know it all. It's just remembering what you already know. That's pretty much what you're doing. Remembering things that you've already seen and learned. Yeah. That's why it says all those aha moments are just you just connected what you already knew. You formed another bridge or across the bridge, You overstand. And after that, overstanding, then you see what direction is it all taking me? Where am I going with this? Or where is this going? That's what the verse standing comes in. It's not just getting how the system works, like what direction are they going in and why. So
so you don't really find too many people talking about this stuff. Yeah,
I mean, you'll get them, and there's a point that they reach, and that's their breaking point.
Yeah. I usually never have any problems, just like not even just leaving them behind. Not even really. I used to try to wake people up, but so you got the same arguments over and over again. It just comes down to like speaking skills, really, on that level.
Yeah.
You can talk a good game and you can convince a few people.
Yeah, I mean, what I find if I see that spark in a person, and they might not necessarily know this level of it, but they might one day. They might want to know, right? So how I just approach it is, judging by that person, if I know them well enough, like you just kind of relate things to them for their time period that they're alive, Things that if, you remember on this or that, these music awards if they're a certain age, and you can just show them, hit them with examples that they've seen already throughout their life. Because if they haven't done the research, then you have to kind of show them through things that they've watched or media, right? If they're kind of related through the media, and that's good too because the media is full of symbols. So, but I mean, I think you make those videos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of your
I haven't made them in a while. I enjoyed making those. It's like a hobby of mine. But like, it got to a point. Like, what am I going to do? Just keep on making videos, you know? Like,
yeah.
for 10 minutes. Yeah.
Were people getting them? Because I know some. Like I got them, but were people getting them? Like your
No.
references within?
No, not really. I wouldn't even really put too many tags on them. I would just put like, sometimes I wouldn't put tags because I would just know like whoever subscribed will see it. I was only really friends with Jared and Maderick on the only ones I really, or maybe a few other people. I was always weary with like talking to people on the internet, and I always got really felt like I was like doing something with those movies, and then it just got to a point where I was like, I'm not doing anything really, you know. I'll watch some now, and I'll be like a little impressed. I'm like, wow, this is good. I'll start doing stuff again for a new one, and then when it just comes down to it, I just think, not finishing it or just not. Cause like, what's it going to be? Like, especially at this point with the information I know now, it's going to be what just you and Jared are going to like it. That's going to be it, you know. So I might as well just do something else, something better, something more productive.
Yeah, I hear you. I definitely hear you.
But I'm sure another one will pop up one of these days.
I think I remember, which one was that? With, was it Warren and you did the Pee Wee Herman thing? Is that you?
I don't think he didn't get offended by that, right? I don't think so.
Oh yeah, I don't think.
I was really making fun of Alan Watt in that call, but he's back now. He's on Broadway now, Pee Wee Herman. You know?
Really?
He's back in the limelight. You know, he's Rose from the Dead. He's back on Broadway.
No.
Available for children's parties too now.
They always rehash, like everyone that had some big scandal years ago, and they bring them back like, hey, I have my own reality show now. So.
Yeah. Some people didn't like that Pee Wee Herman movie. That Forever and Today dude didn't like it. He was like, hey, you shouldn't reduce yourself to this level, man. I was just like, I was just like,
oh yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
And a good commentary on what Alan Watt is, Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah. Yeah, I know who that guy is. Forever and Today. I think I remember reading that comment too.
Yeah, I was like, yo, easy, man. I just thought it was funny.
Well, actually, the funny thing is that those videos that he made with Cole Cree?
No, are those like the hip hop and Freemasonry videos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know actually. Did he put Cole Cree? I think he put Cole Cree in one of them, right? I think Culture. The guy used to call down.
I just know Cole Cree from What Is Truth. That name being on there.
Yeah.
The Culture Cree.
He's the guy that called up Watt's show.
So
everybody kind of knew he was supposed to be this like music industry guy and.
Oh wait, this isn't the South American music industry guy, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I know you're talking about that. Yeah. I just know him from calling that show, calling Alan Watt's show. Yeah,
that guy's total. Yeah, I talked to that guy on the phone too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not who he says he is either. I even seen a nice picture of him on his Twitter where he's wearing his nice 3-piece suit with his hand going in the breast pocket, the breast area, like the hidden hand. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, he's doing that. I'm like, okay.
I have a poster of Scrooge McDuck doing that.
Oh yeah. I've seen that.
But you ever see that? I have one movie called The Newer Man. I thought that one was pretty good.
Maybe.
It's from. You ever see Southland Tales?
See what?
Southland Tales. Well,
Southland Tales?
Is it called that? Oh, what was it called? It was like a movie with The Rock and like Justin Timberlake was in it.
Oh, then definitely not. No, I don't think so.
There was a few clips from that movie. It was like an apocalyptic movie. It was the same guy who made Donnie Darko. He made this other movie called Southland Tales.
Donnie Darko, yeah.
I'm actually downloading Alphaville now. I just Jared mentioned that movie. I haven't really seen the whole thing yet, and it's not on Instant View on Netflix.
Okay, yeah, I have to check that out too.
Yeah, it's like some black and white movie, French movie about that.
Yeah, you told me.
I don't think it's as surreal as I don't think it's surreal like the that movie. I think it's like a sci-fi type movie.
Yeah, those older movies are good, man, because they didn't rely so much on special effects. So
they have the same.
They put a lot more into them, especially the black and whites. People thought about what they even like some of the music back then. It wasn't all just copy paste like it is today. So they had to actually think about what they were doing when they made it. So that whole time period in the '60s, '70s, it's kind of like a renaissance, changing. Taking people out of the dark ages and shooting them up. And that's what brought in the old information age. Yeah.
Did you get a you ever get an encyclopedia from post-World War I?
Yeah, I have a Masonic one, but it's not a complete. I have a volume of it, and I have another just regular encyclopedia from like 1898, I think. But I would like to definitely get an older one, but it's definitely true. Like when I'm reading mine, like you just see stuff you would never think about looking at, and the connections it is there. So it does work. It definitely works. You learn so much. So definitely a great investment.
Yeah.
Great tool.
Then you make PDFs of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're just surprised at how much they know, because you always make it seem like nobody knew anything up until like 50 years ago, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
When you're reading those things, like wow, they did know a lot.
Like no one knew anything until Richard Nixon got.
Yeah. So, well, that's what I think is interesting. The whole, the Dark Ages before. And that was just when they were getting rid of all the technology and information. They were transferring it, hiding it. In the Dark Ages, so then you have, the Renaissance time period, 1500s, and all that, when they're just reintroducing everything again, rebirth. So it's obviously, it's suggesting that it already was birthed one time. So rebirth, and they're reintroducing that technology and information a bit with their own people, and those are the ones that you remember, the Michelangelos and all the great thinkers and architects. Until time period now, they just taper it off. Yeah, but it just shows you they had it back then. So,
like just like the language getting dumbed down, like it just gets under my skin. Like I hear it now more than ever, like just people saying it is what it is. Like I don't remember hearing people saying that so much. Like everyone says, and they think they're so smart when they're saying it. It's really stalled. Like any type of productive conversation, like if you're just like, well, it is what it is. And it's just like, it's just like, let's all get, significantly dumber. Like you don't even have to explain it, because not even Bill Clinton knows what the meaning of is.
Is ISIS. Yeah, I mean, the more the language is dumbed down, the more difficult it is to communicate your thoughts to people. So, yeah. Not to say that they could even grasp it anyway. So I remember having that conversation with Glenn that like say maybe they're born like they can't. They're born without a functioning brain. So they just
that's definitely it. Yeah.
Doesn't matter how much you show them or teach them. Like they can't get it.
Yeah, that's why I'm definitely one of the first things I liked about only having to need is to wake up a small group of people. Anytime anyone else is talking about waking up the masses, and that's just like as dumb as as trying to be Jesus,
That's the thing, and at that point, that small amount of people, they've woke themselves up, or they were already awake, or to some degree. Like I don't consider myself being asleep my whole life. I just didn't have the answers I was looking for yet, but I was always looking for answers.
See, that's one thing that I knew I was different from other people. that make 9/11 whatever. I know a lot of people used to say like, "Oh, I was always awake." I definitely wasn't awake at all until I saw the 9/11. Like those, they were put out there for a reason. Like that was just, like I was definitely part of the controlled awakening, big time. I was just went one after another. 9/11 movie, David Icke crap, Jordan Maxwell crap, Alex Jones crap. And then I heard Alan Watt on Coast to Coast. And it was just like I was definitely part of like the controlled awakening, and I really think like I could have just bypassed it if I didn't see that first. I don't know, maybe because Jared suggests that if I can understand what I did understand, I must have learned it in the past at some point, so to speak.
Yeah, well, what that suggests is that you know that it's not supposed to just be this way. A lot of people just think this is just the way it is, right? Like, hey, this is just
it is what it is, bro.
It is what it is, right? So if you have that inkling of that memory of, like, what you're trying to do is find out, like I said, what you kind of already knew, like, where you used to have access to that before your medulla was tampered with. You had access to your past, and that's what the hair does to your hair. Is like that's your connection to the past, and then yes, it does fall down your spine, and that's another just reinforcing connection. All that is what you were just born with. That's your birthright, so to speak. So
yeah.
So when everything's just been shoved down your throat of how reality is, you're still kind of like, well, it's not really pairing up with how I kind of feel it should be. So what you're doing is, or what I was doing, was looking for those answers that coincide with how I was feeling or how I thought it really was, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I was always asking questions, even when I was small. But yeah, I went through that same controlled awakening thing, but I was a surfer, I was already in the ocean. That was just another wave I rode,
Yeah.
I keep going back. If it doesn't, I fall off the wave, I get off, I ride another one and see how far that takes me, But I love to learn. I love to know, like, what don't you want me to know? That's what I want to know. Like, why is it this big? Like, why are they hiding? Why are they trying so hard to make everyone not find out?
Yeah.
I can't stop till I find that. So that's kind of my own mission. But
yeah, where you surf, Long Beach?
Oh no, that was just an analogy.
Oh.
I don't surf.
All right. I surf a lot.
Yeah. My friend.
But no, I was listening to everything else you were saying too.
Yeah. I'm a musician, so I play down in Long Beach sometimes though, but on the boardwalk, not not in the sodas or. But
you perform like at shows or anything, like in a band or anything?
Well, not your traditional band. I'm in like I'm in two groups.
Mm-hmm.
I play a traditional instrument, a Japanese traditional instrument.
So Barry Sada or Sammy Sada?
Yeah, shamisen.
Oh yeah.
So I play with this Japanese orchestra that does the theater. So we're like the music for dancers and whatnot, kabuki style.
Mm-hmm.
And then another group I'm in is more just like our own modern take of traditional music.
Yeah.
I perform at festivals mostly,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm just down at Long Beach just practicing or playing outside, like, trying to break people's their beehive mentality with that weird.
Long Beach is weird, man. Long Beach is a weird place. Like, it's definitely like different. Like, I don't know. Like, especially in the West End, it's really weird down there.
Yeah.
Definitely strange, like, civilization going on there. They have their own court system. You gotta. They have their own. It's like their own little world down there.
Oh yeah, definitely. It is a beach town.
Yeah, strange.
It's kind of. You ever been to like the Jersey Shore, like Wildwood area, Cape May? It's kind of like that, kind of. If you ever been down there.
Yeah. So you're no-dos on YouTube, right? And you have a YouTube account now, right?
I had a YouTube account, but it got closed. So now I just have one that, it's just like a couple of videos I posted of myself playing. Yeah, nothing serious, but yeah. Now I'm just Winds of Change 13. That's my.
Oh, okay. YouTube. Scorpions fan?
What is that?
Are you a Scorpions fan? I'm just kidding. Yeah, that song Winds of Change.
Never
mind.
I'll check that out though.
It's like an 80s song.
That's good to know. Actually, people might think I'm referencing that.
So I'll probably gotta head out. Maybe we'll meet up sometime. We'll call again on the show or something.
Yeah, maybe next week. Cool.
Actually, next week I'm gonna be away, but
Okay. Well, I mean, he does it, I think, pretty much Saturday. So.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Every Saturday, 7. And there's usually once during the week on like another show.
Does he do another show? No. I don't think so. Why, are you on his Facebook? Is that why?
Actually, I am. Yeah. Well, sometimes there's like episodes where he is talking to Glenn. Sometimes it's just him, like in groups like this.
Oh, talking to Glenn with like 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on my channel. Yeah. You could join in on that. That's Saturdays too sometimes. But.
Is it not 76496 or something?
No, that one's on a different line. So if you want to just get on it, just talk to one of us after.
Yeah.
Email me. I'll give you the.
I'm even forgetting that this is even being recorded. I don't think I thought of that for 1 minute this whole time. Actually, since Jarrett left, I don't think I even thought of it.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll get in touch with you at some point in the near future.
Yeah, man. Sounds good.
All right, man. Take it easy. I gotta head out.
All right, man. Till next time. All
right.
The conference is scheduled to be broken down automatically in
5
minutes. To extend the time by 60 minutes, press star 8. 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 Time by 60 minutes, press star 8.